Let me be brutally honest with you. If I see one more self-defense pistol list that starts with Glock 19 and ends with Sig P365, I'm gonna lose it. I get it. They're reliable. They're popular. They've got more screen time than some B-list actors. But let me ask you something. What if the best gun for you isn't on those tired, recycled lists? Today, we're diving into the pistols that the mainstream forgets, but serious shooters and in-the-know carriers swear by. These aren't gimmicks. These are battle-proven, under-the-radar machines that may not get love from Hollywood or Instagram, but will absolutely deliver when you need them most. I've handpicked 5 self-defense pistols that are criminally underrated in 2025. They're built like tanks, shoot like lasers, and for some damn reason, nobody talks about them. That ends now. Let's get into it. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for number 5. All right, let's kick things off with the pistol that I believe is the most unfairly forgotten gem in the self-defense world, the CZ P07. I know. Everyone and their cousin talks about the P10 series these days. But the P07? This bad boy is like the DASA secret that only the gun nerds and old-school operators seem to respect, and it deserves better. Here's what makes the P07 a legitimate beast. It's hammer-fired with a decocker, which means you've got a longer, deliberate first pull, ideal for high-stress, adrenaline dump situations, followed by single-action follow-ups that break cleaner than a glass rod. You get that old-world double-action control, which is something most striker-fired fanboys completely overlook. But once you get used to it, it just makes sense. There's a rhythm to it, a discipline, like shooting with intention. It's the kind of trigger that makes you pause, breathe, and squeeze, like a built-in reminder to make your first shot count. For folks transitioning from revolvers or older service pistols, the DASA feel just feels right. It's also built like a check tank. I've run steel case junk, underpowered reloads, and cheap white box ammo through this thing in the worst possible conditions. Rain, sand, one time even after dropping it in red clay. And the P07 just didn't care. We're talking thousands of rounds without a hiccup. It eats everything, every time. Ergonomically, it fits the hand like it was born there. The grip texture is aggressive, but not obnoxious. Controls are ambidextrous. And that trigger guard? Generous enough to shoot with gloves in cold weather, which is more than I can say for some compact carry guns. Now, size-wise, the P07 walks the line between compact and duty-sized. It's not a micro, but you can absolutely conceal it with a proper IWB holster. Think of it like a Glock 19 that grew up in Eastern Europe and studied engineering instead of Instagram posing. Bottom line, if you're tired of striker-fired monotony and want something that brings both modern reliability and classic control, the CZ-P07 is your huckleberry. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it'll outshoot most of your favorites, and it won't ask for thanks after. That's just how it rolls. Okay. This one might raise a few eyebrows, and possibly a few angry comments. But I said I'd show you overlooked pistols, and the KelTec P32 is peak overlooked. You ever see a gun so small you weren't sure if it was real? Yeah, that's the P32. Let's get one thing out of the way. This isn't your primary go-to-war pistol. This isn't the hero gun in a Netflix tactical thriller. This is the, I just want something that disappears into my waistband and doesn't weigh more than my car keys kind of gun. Unloaded. It weighs just under 7 ounces. I've had granola bars that felt heavier. You can stick this thing in gym shorts, ankle rigs, cargo pockets, fanny packs, or hey, shove it into the coin pocket of your jeans if you're feeling bold. It's the very definition of deep concealment. Heck, I've seen guys tape it inside a baseball cap, and I'm pretty sure someone once strapped it under a flip-flop just to prove a point. Now, sure, 32 ACP doesn't exactly scream man-stopper. But here's the deal. Most self-defense encounters happen fast, up close, and in chaos. Having a gun you actually carry beats the hell out of a .45 you left in your glove box. And the P32 is stupidly easy to carry. It's also surprisingly shootable. Minimal recoil, easy to rack the slide, And the long double-action-only trigger gives you just enough safety margin without being a finger workout. I've seen folks with arthritis or limited hand strength run this pistol like champs. For elderly carriers, women looking for ultralight options, or even seasoned shooters who want a backup gun that literally disappears, it's a win. Let's be honest. It looks like it was made from melted-down PlayStation controllers. It's not winning any beauty pageants, but function-wise, it's earned its stripes. I call it the sleeper hold of pistols. It doesn't shout. It doesn't show off. But when the chips are down, this little fella can keep you in the fight. And for about 300, that's hard to beat. So yeah, laugh at it now. But one day, when you're in cargo shorts and no one sees the print, you'll remember the KelTec P32, and you'll thank it later. Glock 29 Gen 4, 10mm of fury packed in a brick. Let me just say it up front. The Glock 29 doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care that you think 10mm is too much for concealed carry, or that you heard from your buddy's cousin's ex-Marine roommate that it's uncontrollable. The G29 isn't here to be polite. It's here to stop threats. Period. Now, for some reason, the 29 gets pushed aside in favor of its more mainstream cousins like the G19 or G26. That's cute, but this chunky little monster throws 10mm rounds like it's launching thunder out of a soda can. You want power? This is what you carry when you're serious about punching through barriers or bears. And let's not forget the versatility. 10mm has the velocity and penetration to punch through car doors, windshields, or thick clothing with authority. It's not overkill, it's insurance. Delivered 1,300 feet per second, with a 10+1 capacity in a subcompact frame, it's the honey badger of handguns. It looks like a Glock, it acts like a Glock, but it hits like a freight train. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't it too snappy? Yes, it bucks. It's 10mm, not bubblegum, but it's not unmanageable. Get yourself a decent grip module or a pinky extension, and suddenly it's a lot more tame than the internet makes it out to be. Practice with it, and you'll find it's very controllable, especially for folks used to shooting .40 Smith & Wesson or .45 ACP. And let's be honest, most people carry 9mm because it's good enough. But what if good enough isn't what you're aiming for? The Glock 29 is what you carry when you don't want to just stop the threat. You want to end the whole damn incident. Another underrated angle? It plays nice with Big Brother. You can slap in a 15-round Glock 20 mag as your backup, or run a longer barrel for better velocity. It's modular in a way most folks never take advantage of. And yet, despite all of this, it's barely ever talked about. Maybe because 10mm isn't trendy, maybe because people are scared of recoil, or maybe because the Glock 29 is just too real for the average carry crowd. Either way, it's criminally underrated. So here's my take. If you want a carry gun that's compact, tough as nails, and capable of putting some serious horsepower into the fight, the G29 is it. Not for everyone, but if you can handle it, it'll handle business. Have you ever shot something so good you had to double-check the price tag to make sure they didn't forget a zero? That was me with the Arex Delta Gen 2. The Delta is made by Arex Defense, a Slovenian company that's been quietly putting out some of the most underrated handguns in Europe. And now, finally, they're gaining ground in the U.S. And this thing? It's not just some cheap clone. It's a well-thought-out, purpose-built self-defense pistol that frankly deserves way more hype than it gets. Let's break it down. First, the feel. The grip texture is modern, aggressive without being abrasive. You get interchangeable backstraps, a deeply undercut trigger guard for a high grip, and a flared magwell that makes reloads buttery smooth. And yes, it's optics ready out of the box, with standard Glock-style sights. The controls are ambidextrous, the lines are sleek, and the overall fit and finish punches way above its price point. Speaking of which, this thing usually comes in under $500. That's wild. You're getting a striker-fired, modular, optics-ready pistol that feels tailor-made for concealed carry or duty use, and you're not mortgaging your range membership to get one. Now let's talk trigger. Crisp, with a short tactile reset. It's got just enough wall to give you confidence under stress, but short enough to run fast splits if you know what you're doing. It's not a custom trigger, But it's better than most factory setups in this price range. And reliable? I've seen torture tests with over 2,000 rounds and not a single failure to feed or eject. That's no joke. So why don't more people carry it? Because it's not cool yet. It's not a household name. It's not flooded into every gun shop or featured in Call of Duty. But that's exactly why I love it. The Delta Gen 2 is the underdog's dream. A feature-rich pistol that doesn't care about fame, only performance. If you want a self-defense pistol that's different without being weird, tactical without being overbuilt, and deadly dependable, take a serious look at the Arex Delta Gen 2. Your Glock might start getting jealous. You ever meet someone who's way tougher than they look? That's the PX4 Compact. It may wear a soft-shell Italian exterior, but under the hood, this thing is all business. It's like a librarian who moonlights as a cage fighter. Beretta's PX4 Compact is one of those guns that gets passed over for all the wrong reasons. It's not new. It's not polymer striker fired. And let's be honest, it's not exactly sexy by modern standards. But let me tell you what it is. It's one of the smoothest shooting 9mm you'll ever put in your hands, thanks to one little secret most people don't even realize: the rotating barrel. That's right. Unlike your typical tilting barrel system, the PX4 uses a rotating barrel lockup. What does that mean for you? Less muzzle flip, flatter recoil, and faster follow-up shots. It's like Beretta handed this thing to an engineer and said, "Make a gun that feels like cheating." And they did. The compact variant hits the sweet spot for concealed carry. Not too big, not too small. It fits the hand like a glove, especially if you like that full palm grip. You've got DASA action, a decocker or safety depending on your preference. And the controls are large and easy to manipulate, even if you've got hands like sausage links. Now, yes, the design's a bit chunky. It looks like it got dressed in 2007 and never updated its wardrobe. But who cares? This isn't a fashion show. This is about control, reliability, and accuracy. And the PX4 delivers all three in spades. One thing I love? It runs flawlessly dirty. I once ran 600 rounds through mine without cleaning just to test the hype. And the thing laughed in my face and begged for more. The rotating barrel doesn't just reduce recoil, it sheds fouling like a wet dog shakes off rain. You can shoot this thing after 500 rounds of carbon and lube from a napkin, and it'll just keep chugging. It's been adopted by various military and police forces around the world. So it's not just a range toy. It's a duty gun with real pedigree. The PX4 Compact is like the underrated character in a heist movie who ends up saving the day. It doesn't beg for attention. It just shows up, works hard, and outperforms expectations. If you've never shot one, fix that. And if you already own one, congratulations. You're in on one of the best-kept secrets in self-defense handgunning. So there you have it. 5 pistols that don't hog the spotlight but absolutely earn their place in your holster. They may not be trending, they may not be sexy, but when it comes down to performance, reliability, and real-world carry, they deliver. Now I want to hear from you. What's your personal sleeper pick? The pistol nobody talks about but you swear by? Drop it in the comments, and let's keep this conversation loud, even if these pistols fly under the radar. And hey, subscribe, and stay dangerous. We're just getting started.